What is good, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla stock and the overall market. I'm going to break down some new news that just came out for Tesla, how things are looking in terms of the economic calendar, which you should be watching for as time goes on. Before I break the doubles information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. Deposit $25,000 or more, and you're guaranteed 75 free stocks. So I was Tesla looking. Tesla had this big decline all the way down to this 162 area. I warned everyone to watch 160 to 162. I said if we lost 160, we turn a lot more bearish, but we saw some buyers defend it a little bit. We're now just kind of shuffling in this 165 area, but just know that Tesla is still on a decline, and the overall trend is still looking a bit more bearish. Why do I say that? Because when you zoom out, just like this, you can see this trend is still in favor of the bears. Right over here, we can see this very, very nice cup that formed. It's also contracting in terms of its share price. We had this nice little rejection that came off this pop and drop, and we came all the way down to this support right here at 165. Not just holding it, right? We actually lost this temporarily, and there's a risk of it coming all the way down to this next liquidity zone up here. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, just in terms of levels, I mean, 162 is going to be a key level to that 160 zone. That's going to be critical support for Tesla. If we start losing that later on, there could be an even bigger decline. Now, what is a little concerning is the fact that on the current trend, we're looking bearish, and we're actually starting to see some bears really stepping in and bringing us lower and lower because the trend is now favoring the bears even more. So I'm seeing, once again, some more potential downside for Tesla. And what else is a little concerning is how the overall market is moving. If the market declines more, that could also drag Tesla down lower. So you have to keep all of that into mind. So that's very, very important. Tesla is not looking that great. We're going to likely continue to shuffle for quite some time in this 165 area, but there is a risk of it dropping lower, in my opinion, based off the pattern, based off the current trend. So please be very, very careful. In case you guys missed my other video, I basically reported this data as soon as it came out. My previous video was kind of rushed because of the fact that the market was about to open. I'm not really available all the time during market opens. So when that happened, right, I was planning on just recording a video breaking down the market and then waiting for Tesla's deliveries numbers and then make another video about that. But while I was recording my video, the numbers ended up coming out a little bit later than expected. Once the numbers came out, Tesla reported only 386,000 deliveries, well below expectations, with production only at 433,000. Not the best of numbers, but don't forget about the fact that the German Gigafactory was closed for some time. Not to mention that there are other factors affecting them. I'm going to break down more data about this later on, but I just want to say that right now the media is screaming Tesla has disastrous results. Tesla's, it doesn't have the best of reports right now relative to expectations. We were expecting 430,000, we only got 386,000. There's all this noise that Tesla is this and that, and it's horrible. Honestly, guys, let me be real with you. Tesla is still well ahead of the game. There's no other EV company here in the US that's close to Tesla. There are some competitors in China which are, trying to get close, but it's almost none of them. It's just one or two. And on top of that, I just want to make it clear that Tesla is still way ahead of the game in terms of AI development and other things like that. So in a way, Tesla's still ahead of the game. They're still doing very well compared to their competitors. But at the same time, you have to remember that Tesla's in a position where things are happening outside of their own control. Tesla was not in control of what happened with interest rates and etc. That has more to do with the Fed and what happened after the pandemic and all these other factors. So monetary policy has gotten into the way in the way of Tesla, and I don't really want to just shade on Tesla and just solely just throw everything on them. I want to just note that we're in a very, very tough time in terms of macroeconomics, and it's going to continue to affect Tesla. Q1 is historically one of their weakest quarters, so this is still affecting them. And with all the headlines coming out, Tesla is looking at weak sales, Tesla's this and that. It's just going to continue to affect Tesla for the time being, and we just have to be a little bit patient when all of this comes out. So for Tesla, what do I see for it? Honestly, guys, like I said before, we're just kind of shuffling at 165. I could see a bigger decline in the future back down to 162. And we'll have to see that 162 to 160 area. Do we hold this support right here? If we hold this, Tesla could try to base here. If we lose this, we're going to be sinking lower. I do want to note that for tomorrow, we have Jerome Powell giving a speech. I'll make another video about that later on. So maybe the market's kind of weak approaching his speech. Could we get a big bounce thanks to Powell's speech later on? It's a possibility, but approaching it, the market looks a little bit more bearish. We look a lot weaker, and this is also going to contribute to Tesla coming down. And in the next 2 months, if the market does decline more, right, let's just say we get a little drop for today going into Powell's speech, we rebound a little bit, but then we could still decline later on in May and June, just hypothetically, right? If that's the case, Tesla could also get dragged down into it. It also depends on Tesla's earnings, but just know that Tesla could get dragged by the market. So you want to be very careful when looking at things like this. All right. So that's my warning for everyone that the overall market could also affect Tesla. How is SPY looking in terms of levels, right? The overall trend is bearish, obviously, but look at this 516.5 area. That's going to be our key supports. If we lose this, 515 is coming next, and we could even see a bigger decline. For resistance, we have key resistance right now at 517.5 to 518. SPY is looking a bit more bearish. It managed to touch 516.5, which is one of the levels we called out in the morning, alongside 515. So SPY is looking more bearish. We are still favoring some more downside. We could even decline more approaching Jerome Powell's speech. So make sure you're very, very careful. Same thing with the QQQ. This got dragged down thanks to Nvda, and there's other factors as well. 438 is the key support since we lost 440. You guys can see how well it's holding that up. And then if we lose 438, look for 437.5 to 436 is our next target. I think 436 will come next if we lose 438. And then for resistance, it's 440. We still look a bit more bearish. We're trying to hold 438, but there is a risk of more declines coming. For Nvda lost 892. We had this tight range between 908 and 892, back and forth and back and forth, and we ended up losing 892. So now we're back at around, this is like 877 or something. If we lose this, 872 is coming next, so this looks a bit more bearish. We also have resistance at 885 and 892. Nvidia is looking a bit more bearish. I did say this in my previous video that we're seeing some weakness on the chart, because remember how yesterday it was trying to rebound, it got rejected, tried again, then got rejected even during the after hours. So that was what the chart was showing us, and that is what ended up playing out. We got this move down to 877. We could continue to decline even lower if we lose that, and we could get close to 865 in levels like that. But for now, we do look a bit more bearish, so just be very, very careful. On top of all of this, we also have Aapl. Apple's on a bit of a decline as well. We're going to be looking at resistance right now at this trend line at 170, and we also have support currently at 169, also at 168.25. Overall, it looks bearish. It's been making lower highs, low lows, declining, and I could see potential for this to come all the way down into this 168.5 area again. Apple's a bit more bearish. It is trying to base though in this 168 area, so we're seeing lots of buyers attempting to step in and more algos trying to defend it here, but it's still on a decline. It's still looking kind of weak to me, so I'd still be careful with it. Let me just go over a couple more. Amazon is below 180, trying to rebound a little bit, but you want to be very careful. We have support at 178.5. That's one of the levels we called out. We have resistance right now at 180. We're kind of stuck in between this range, so whichever way it breaks will determine the bigger move. But just know that with Jerome Powell's speech, that's going to cause some high volatility by tomorrow, and we are a little bit weaker looking on Amazon. Also on Meta. Meta came down to about 484, got bought back up. Now we're just kind of flat right now within this range. So watch support at 484 to 485. Watch resistance around 496. There's 494. I mean, not 496. 494 is going to be the first level to watch for, alongside 492. Overall, we're just stuck within this range, so it may just continue to trade sideways. For others out there looking at Google, still bullish, still holding up quite well on a very, very nice bullish trend. Watch the 153.8 area. If we lose this, a bigger drop is coming. If we hold this, we could try to rebound. And then for Microsoft, I think that Microsoft is looking okay. It did come down a bit, but watch this 420 area. If we do break past this, we could come back to 422. If we fail to do so, we're going to be coming back down, so watch 422 as resistance. Anyways, that's it for the video, guys. I went over the majority of the tickers out there. Right now, just be very careful with the markets, even for Tesla. I know that Tesla's trying to base at this 165 area, trying to hold up, but I just want to warn you to be careful, because there is a risk of more downside in the future. We have Jerome Powell giving a speech tomorrow that could affect us. But for now, just be very, very mindful that the trend is bearish on Tesla. So be careful. There is a risk of more downside. So watch the levels I called out. Do what you have to do, guys. And I'll see you guys very soon in a later video. Thank you for listening, and peace out.